died Sunday, July 6, 2014. He was 19 years old and left behind one sister, Peyton Walker, and loving parents, Mitch and Candace Walker. Russell was found at his home and was said to have died suddenly. He was an alumni from Grand Hills High School, and he went to Lincoln University with his major undecided. He loved his family and was known by many as an ambitious dreamer, always wanting more out of life. His funeral will be held Wednesday, July 9th at Jewel Family Funeral Home.
He deserves so much more.
You have to tell them.
I love him. I love him so much.
We can't tell them. We can't tell anyone.
What am I supposed to do?
And you must be Peyton. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, thanks.
Where were you when you found out? Losing someone is hard, I get it. But hopefully I can help you out a bit. But you need to let me help you, all right? That's what a grief counselor is for. You can say anything you need to. Nothing leaves this room.
All right, I'll try my best.
Where were you when you found out?
At home. My parents found him in his room that night.
What happened?
I don't know, they found him pretty late. His breathing was so slow, and he just looked like he passed out, and that was it.
Do you know what did it?
He'd been struggling with a drug problem for a while.
I see what you mean. How long had Russ been doing it?
It's complicated. I think all of it started sometime during school last year. He was away, so we didn't notice anything until he came home for the summer. That's when things got more complicated.
How so?
I guess it'd be best to start when he came home for the summer from college.
Hey, Peyton.
Things were fine at first. He said hi to everyone, but something seemed different about him. He seemed nervous about something.
Russ, we missed you.
Hi, Mom.
It's great to have you home.
It's good to be back.
Hey, son. How's my college boy doing?
I'm good, Dad.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back, Steph.
Wait, who's Steph?
Oh, Stephanie Perkins. She's Russ's girlfriend. Steph and him started dating in high school, and they went to Lincoln together. She knew him as well as any of us did.
It's always great to see you, Mrs. Walker.
Is this just a quick visit, or should we set another place at the table?
I hope you don't mind if I stick around for a little bit.
You could probably stay over for a few days if you wanted to.
Sweet. Are you all okay with that?
Our guest room is always open.
I don't see why not. We're practically family anyways.
Russ?
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Don't sound so excited now.
I'm sorry. Dad, can I talk to you about something?
Sure. What's going on?
I mean in private.
Oh, okay, sure.
He's barely in the door and we're already off doing something.
That's okay. This just gives us more time to catch up.
What have you been up to, Steph?
Not too much, just
How did those go? Finals?
they were good.
Good. So both of you guys probably did well.
Actually, that's what I want to talk to you about.
Is something wrong?
We just need to talk about something.
About what?
What happened? Did his grades drop? He was doing so well this year.
It isn't that. His grades are fine. I'm just worried about him.
I think I need to take a year off school.
Why?
He's changed. He isn't the Russ that left Grand Hills High.
How so?
I don't know what I'm doing with myself at Lincoln. My grades are better, but I have no direction.
What happened to you wanting to be a lawyer? Are you quitting that?
I can't do it. I'm not a lawyer. I look at the people around me and they're all so ruthless. I want to help people and they just want to help themselves. It isn't me.
Then who are you? Will you ever get into the workforce? I mean, you have to do something with your life.
I'm going to do something. I just need time to plan.
We all feel nervous when trying to become independent. We just need to get over it and figure it out.
I can't just move on when I don't know where to go.
He's become so reserved. I don't know if it's the change of atmosphere or the sudden independence, but he hardly leaves his dorm anymore.
What about those new friends you guys talked about at Thanksgiving? Does he talk to them?
Yeah, sometimes, but
What?
never mind.
Have you talked to him about any of this?
I haven't known how to bring it up.
What are we
you
going to do
do
about this?
I'll figure it out.
So he came home confused. It's not unheard of to change a major within the first year.
But that wasn't Russ. He always planned ahead. He was sure about everything. Russ wanted to help people, so he wanted to become a lawyer.
Plans changed, though. He couldn't have known how he liked it until he got in there. Did Russ feel guilty for realizing law school wasn't for him?
I think so. I love my dad, but I think he tried to support him so much with his law school dream that he had a hard time accepting anything else.
I see. It seems like things probably got pretty stressful with him with this going on.
It became a wrestling ring. Hey, Russ, want to play cards or something?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute.
Are you sure about this whole giving up school thing? Don't you have anything else in mind?
I need a year to decide. I need a break. I need to figure out who I am outside of school.
We didn't work this hard the past 5 years for you to just take a break.
Don't you think I know that? That's why I can't be wasting thousands of dollars on me living a lie.
What do you expect to do in your year of freedom? Are you going to get a job or take a road trip across the country?
No! I mean, maybe. I'll figure it out.
Hey, Russ, want to go to the mall or something?
I'm not in the mood. Maybe later.
What are you doing with those?
Don't worry about it.
Russ, you have to stop. Don't do this to yourself.
You don't understand. My mind never shuts up. I can't sleep most nights. And sometimes I wish I didn't wake up. This stops all of that. I need these.
What you need is to tell your parents. You need to get help.
Help with what? Trying to be normal? Being the lost kid I used to be? No. You know what? I've never been better.
Want to go get some food, Russ?
I'm not hungry.
Hey, can I talk to you?
What about?
I really want you to try and stay in school, just to at least get your general education done.
Fantastic. Now you're against me too?
It's not that, sweetie. It's just...
I'm sorry I don't want you to waste money on a lost cause. I can't go back there and I won't.
Can't we talk about this? What's gotten into you lately?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Russ, are you okay?
You need to get help.
You need to go back to school.
You have so much potential.
We just want what's best for you.
Russ?
What do you want from me?
Never mind.
You shouldn't have had to go through that.
I was more worried about Russ all of this than myself.
Say something.
You deserve so much more. You have to tell them.
I love him. I love him so much.
We can't tell them. We can't tell anyone.
You can say anything you need to.
What am I supposed to do?
There are 5 stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance.
You can experience and re-experience the first 4 stages in any order, but it always ends with acceptance.
The grieving process is different for everyone. How has your family been taking all of this?
We're taking it pretty hard. I think my dad feels guilty, but he'll never admit to that. He doesn't really cry or look sad, he's just angry. He'll get frustrated with the news, my mom, a pile of dirty laundry. He wasn't always like this.
And your mom?
My mom tries to put on the front that nothing can hurt her now that she's accepted it. Even then, I know she's hurting. When she doesn't think anyone's looking is when she puts her guard down.
Have they talked to you about how they feel? How you feel?
We talk like any other family does, I guess. We all mostly keep to ourselves. My mom writes a lot. I think she's been writing a lot about Russ lately.
Growing up is one of the hardest things anyone has to do. Getting up the day after someone you love loses that chance to grow up is infinitely harder. It's been a few days since Russ passed. My only son, my firstborn.
I'm still here.
The kid that would hug you after you stubbed your toe. The smart aleck that would fight with his sister about which group of stars is the Big Dipper and which was the Little Dipper. The boy who got older and started to get piled under what the world had in store for him.
Look at me, Mom.
He struggled so much, and I didn't know how to help him anymore. Nobody did.
I'm so sorry.
How do you help someone who doesn't think they need it? One day, we'll all stop blaming ourselves. We won't feel uneasy every time we see a pill bottle or any time we have to go into your room.
Please stop this.
That day is not today, though. A wife who loses a husband is called a widow. A husband who loses a wife is called a widower. A child who loses his parents is called an orphan. But there is no word for a parent who loses a child. That's how awful the loss is.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love him. I love him so much. Goodbye, my beautiful boy. May your soul find peace and happiness wherever you are now.
I miss you.
What are you writing, Candace?
Oh, it's nothing.
Say something.
He deserves so much more. You have to tell them.
I love him. I love him so much.
We can't tell them. We can't tell anyone.
You can say anything you need to.
What am I supposed to do?
Addiction is a disease that can be treated with appropriate medical intervention.
However, many people believe that addiction is a character flaw or weakness in person.
This leads to a growing stigma of shame where people are too scared to open up and find help. I didn't know everyone was so reserved in your family. I'm guessing most people don't know everything you all went through.
Honestly, all anyone really knows is what the obituary says.
What happens when somebody asks about what happened?
It's complicated.
All right. What do you have so far?
Russell Augustus Russ Walker died Sunday, July 6, 2014. He was 19 years old and left behind one sister, Peyton Walker, and loving parents, Mitch and Candace Walker.
That's good. What's next?
We need to put how he died.
Can't we just skip that?
What's the point in an obituary if it doesn't say how he died?
Just put died suddenly or something like that.
But that's a lie.
But that'll be everyone else's truth.
Why? The universal truth is that he overdosed. We found him in
Stop!
I'm going to say after a long struggle. We aren't blatantly lying that way.
Struggle with what? People are gonna ask questions. No way.
Why can't we tell people what happened? What are you so scared
I'm
of?
not scared! Candace, do you love our son? Your son?
Of course, why?
Then why would you try to drag his name through the mud? People talk and rumors are spread. Our son, our wonderful, hard-working son, would just turn into another pitiful statistic. We won't be looked at as the Walkers anymore, just those people who had a junkie in their family. Why can't we move on from this and focus on what's important and good about him?
I don't want to hurt his name. He's my boy. He did amazing things.
And put that he died suddenly. People mull over the statement and focus on what's important. We can't tell them. We can't tell anyone.
Fine. If it's for us, I'll do it. What do we say
What?
when people ask us what happened?
They shouldn't ask.
But what happens if they do, Mitch? He was our son, but he was also their friend. Wouldn't you want to know what happened?
It isn't their business. They wouldn't want to know, and they wouldn't want to see him the way we did in this past month. We're helping them keep who he was in their memories.
All right, we don't tell people. What about Peyton? Steph? They've seen him as much as we have, and they don't even know yet.
It's too late to protect their memories. You can let them know.
They deserve that much.
Just make sure they know what to say.
Say something.
He deserves so much more.
You have to tell them.
I love him. I love him so much.
We can't tell them. We can't tell anyone.
You can say anything you need to,
What am I supposed to do?
so nobody else knows at all.
The Perkins know. They're going through their own grieving process now.
Steph, are you okay?
I'm fine, Mom. I promise. You sure? You don't look okay.
What's going on?
I thought that I'd know how to take this once I heard. It was a punch to the face, but I thought since we went through all of this with Josh,
It wouldn't be as hard.
it's just so different. With Josh, we got to talk to people, and talking about it made it real, and that hurt, but it also let us start to accept it.
Talking to families let us know that it wasn't something to feel ashamed of.
Why can't the Walkers do the same?
Because somewhere along the line, someone convinced them that the world would look as Russ as the face of addiction, not as the Russ we all knew. Fear keeps you away from a lot of things.
But it shouldn't. They're still hurting. We're hurting. We can't bring Russ back, but we shouldn't act like he never existed. This is so hard.
Of course it's hard, and it'll never not be hard. We just have to find ways to focus on the good things in life.
I've done it before, but it almost seems worse this time.
I think you need the closure of talking to people about it. All these secrets, not getting to tell people what happened, it's hurting you. You have to tell them how you feel.
Thanks for talking to me, Mom.
Anytime.
Talking to people who have been through what you have is so helpful.
Yeah, I just wish I could.
Say something.
He deserves so much more.
You have to tell them.
I love him. I love him so much.
We can't tell them. We can't tell anyone.
Say anything you need to.
What am I supposed to do?
Studies have shown that we are all attracted to what is familiar to us, and that repeated exposure to certain people will increase our attraction toward them.
We don't have a conscious choice. We are attracted to familiar people because we consider them to be safe and unlikely to cause harm, even if that could be farther from the reality.
I've been facing addiction for most of my life. The fixation on devastation has attacked my community, my best friend, even my own brother. I've never taken a drug or picked up any substance, but sometimes I wonder what the difference would be. It would be like throwing TNT into the room I stand in, but it doesn't matter because I've always been stuck in here. It's been taking away the people I love for as long as I can remember. There is a constant tug of war between my desire to care for others and my need to care for myself. I had to watch my best friend become a stranger and my own brother become a shell of who he used to be. Sometimes I question when I became a magnet for those who destroy themselves. Addiction is a vacuum. It takes and nothing escapes. Anyone in its path is sucked right in. It's a ticking time bomb and we're all standing right in the impact zone. And people don't see that in the haze of the smoke or in the days of the high. And they're only concerned about if they die. And I wonder why they don't realize a fire spreads and destroys everyone and everything in its path. I always tell myself that this will be the last time, that I'll move on, but every time I try, it always finds a way to sneak back into my life. It sneaks and finds refuge in people's insecurities, in their ignorance, in their struggles. Losing my brother wasn't my fault. I couldn't do anything to bring Josh back. I couldn't have seen his struggle. He was clean. We were finally free for 9 whole months, and then it struck. His addiction was reborn, and it killed him. Russ never seemed like he would be like Josh. He had a good head on his shoulders, and he knew what he was doing. He always knew exactly what he was doing, and I know I shouldn't blame myself, but I can't help it. He deserves so much more. He never went clean. He never stopped. He kept taking and Russ wouldn't stop. And I know I shouldn't blame myself, but he never stopped, and he never... Nobody wakes up one morning and decides that they're going to be an addict. You wake up one day and realize you're already in too deep. Or you just don't wake up at all. I can't say that this will be the last time, but I can make sure it's never my time. I will not go down in flames, and I will not send the hopes of the people I love. They deserve better. So do I.
Stories are the most powerful tool you have to influence change and touch hearts in a real and lasting kind of way.
Talking to others that have shared in your pain is an effective step towards healing.
The best way to change the situation is to acknowledge the problem.
Say something.
He deserves so much more.
You have to tell them.
Say something.
He deserves so much more.
Can't
So
tell
much
anyone.
more.
Say something. Can't tell
What am I
anyone.
supposed to do?
You seem distracted. Are you all right?
I'm fine, I promise.
Say something.
He deserves so much more.
You have to tell them.
Say something.
You can't tell them. Can't tell anyone.
He deserves
You can't tell them. You can't tell anyone.
I know what I have to do.
Hayden, are you sure you're all right?
Yeah, I just need to do something.
Do you want to share?
I need to tell people what happened to Russ. They need to know what really happened to him.
Side effects of Xanax include drowsiness, dizziness, memory problems, poor coordination, slurred speech, and irritability.
Side effects of Xanax overdose include confusion, lightheadedness, difficulty breathing, fainting, coma, or even death.
Xanax, when used properly, is one of the safest drugs, but when mixed with other substances and taken in large doses, results can be fatal.
Say something.
I want to honor Russ and celebrate his strength. And to do that, I need to tell you all what really happened to him.
When we left for college, of course we knew that there would be change. We both made goals to become better. Russ was determined to do better than he ever did in high school. At first things were fine and he joined study groups, but he always wanted to do better, aim higher. The pressure he put on himself is what led him to start using Adderall while studying.
Addiction isn't exclusive to just high school dropouts or people with bad upbringings. It isn't a plague for those less fortunate. It will prey on anyone vulnerable. People forget that it's a disease and not a lifestyle. At some point, it stops being a hobby and it becomes a necessity, as normal as waking up in the morning. Recovery is not about a bad person becoming good, but a sick person becoming well. It's a disease, and it ate at him. We just couldn't help him beat it.
When Russ came home, you could tell something was different. He was stressed about school, big decisions, trying to figure out who he was. Steph got him to stop using Adderall, but the withdrawal was too much. He became anxious, he couldn't sleep. He self-medicated with Xanax. Russ wasn't a doctor by any means, and a little bit became a little bit more.
He kept taking and he never stopped. You'd find him passed out by 4 p.m. some days, and others you would see him struggle to stand straight, walk straight, think straight. Even then he was breathing, but he wasn't living.
My son was strong. We talk highly of war heroes and martyrs, of people who fought harsh battles for a greater good. We aren't ashamed of our soldiers. Russ was a soldier, fighting in a war he never should have been drafted into. He was a blind soldier, taking swings at his enemies, and all of his punches landed right back into him. I was so scared to talk about Russ's addiction. I thought that saying he had an addiction would make you think he was something less human than the Russ we all knew. He is my son.
My brother.
The love of my life.
He bared the scars of addiction, but Russ is more than his struggles.
Russ is my son, and he did great things. A life with so much potential shouldn't have to end like that.
Somebody who did so much doesn't deserve to be shamed for their struggles.
Because we were scared, selfish, blind, we never got to tell you all his story.
I, Russ Walker, died on a Sunday night. I was 19 years old and left behind a sister who deserves the world and 2 loving parents I never meant to harm. My family found me in the house in a state they never should have had to see me in.
You did not die suddenly.
I had been dying for months. I didn't notice it at first, but I lost my ability to function without it.
You don't understand. I need these.
He died of Xanax abuse. Here we were in the land where people find themselves, and he couldn't be more lost.
My friends were all finding majors, acing classes, succeeding in what they had set out to do. And I wasn't. I loved my family, and when I didn't think I could make them proud, I hit my low point. I needed better grades, so I needed more pills. I needed to be less stressed, so I needed more pills. I came home and felt out of place, so I needed more pills. I needed to feel wanted, so I needed more pills. If I couldn't be perfect and good enough, then what was I? I read somewhere that it was extremely hard to die from Xanax overdose. It seemed impossible, and every time I took another bar that day, I convinced myself that this would make me feel better. I wouldn't be stressed or depressed. I couldn't die, I wouldn't overdose. It wouldn't happen to me.
It will never happen to me.
Never fool yourself. You think you can stop, you think things will magically be fixed. Pills don't get you a college degree. Drugs don't make your parents proud of you again. All it does is distract you for a while. You think life is better because you'll lose days, lose memories of days. You'll feel like you're avoiding disappointment for a little bit longer.
But you're taking away everyone else's memories, too.
When I took Xanax that day, it didn't seem any different. I took pills, hoped to take a nap, and grabbed a few more when I hadn't dozed off yet. It was fine, until my chest got tight. My head started to feel airy. I lost all control that I thought I still had over myself in the span of hours. And that's when my story ended. If I could change things, of course I would, but that isn't possible. Believe me, I've tried.
But in every farewell is a hello.
I didn't hide my feelings anymore, and I talked to people outside of my therapist's office. Some people judged, but even more people understood. A lot of families came forward with their stories, which was my story, over and over again. We all were rebuilding our hope, helping each other. My mom shared her writings with other grieving parents, even published a book. Our horror story became a siren sound for others trapped under the gravel of stigma. We didn't become superstars or motivational speakers or anything, but now we have a way to make the days go by faster. By helping ourselves, we're helping others. The Perkins seem happier. I think they've finally started to heal from all of this. My mom found her way to achieve acceptance. My dad's still a work in progress, but you can tell he's trying. I'm finally moving on by making a difference, and I hope Russ can move on now too. I had to say something. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
People needed to know that it could happen to anyone.
People need to know.
You didn't need the drugs. You were already perfect to us.
I was a waste. How was I anywhere near perfect?
Perfection is subjective.
Perfection doesn't exist.
But you didn't have to be perfect. You were our Russ.
I wasn't me anymore.
Then who were you? I'm I'm sorry.
Stop saying that.
If I found you earlier that day, then...
Then it would have been a different day. Don't put this on yourself.
I'm helping people now. Families have talked to me about what they've gone through.
That's good.
Mom writes more. Dad started talking to us more. They both are starting to smile again.
Good.
I just wish you were here to be happy with us.
I'm proud of you, you know.
Thanks.
Go. Enjoy life. Don't worry about me anymore. You said something, and that's all I needed.